they must be at this point a gluttons for punishment, because why would they went straight into the ring introductions, no intro, no nothing. They thought, boy, we're going to grab him. And it wasn't MJF. It was Mercedes Mone. The opening match of this program was Mercedes Mone versus Hikaru Shida. So pretty much the most unpopular, and not in a heel way, but just in a, oh, her again way, the most unpopular person on the roster versus another, now you see her, now you don't girl. She pops up every once in a while, does something, and goes wherever the people that go away go. And how long was this? My God, it was every indie girls match ever with an extra helping of awkward. And I kept hearing a noise throughout the whole match, and it was this clicking, and then I realized it was so many channels were changing at the same time I could hear them in my own home. It is entertaining watching Mercedes do the stripper shimmy and act all full of herself while Camille stands there with the stone face, and hopefully Camille will not go down with this ship, because Mercedes is an anchor around her neck.
Well, what did you think about the way she looked and the way she was dressed? You know, from behind for a moment, I almost thought it was Britt Baker from the way she had her hair and from the outfit she was wearing, but they dyed her hair. She used to be blonde. Now she's brunette. Do you think she stands out and is as striking now as she was a few years ago?
Well, not even a few years ago, but just not too long ago, last time I saw her anywhere. She needs to, I don't know if she looks like Britt Baker from behind. Britt Baker.
Well, I think I've seen Britt Baker wear that outfit on the show is what I think.
Okay, well, maybe wearing the same thing, but I don't think Britt Baker has a back you can show a drive-in movie on. But she needs, I think, a more striking look overall, rather than just the fact that she's a good-looking young lady, but she's big. Her size is the... Can we not give her something striking to wear? I'm not saying go for the China look with the leather and chains, but let's have a fucking look there like she's not just wearing her street clothes. Is that maybe what you're going for?
That's a part of it. But again, she used to be blonde. Now she's brunette.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the hair. Well, I didn't notice the particular shade, but I saw that she was darker headed than she is now, which again, I would say she needs hair you can see in a big building, but they're in big buildings, but not anybody's that far away in the big building. It's all blocked off. So maybe I don't know. But anyway, so this match went on, and then finally Camille kind of interfered, and Shida hit her with the kendo stick, but Mercedes took the stick from Shida, and the referee yelled at her, and while the referee was yelling at her, then Camille just hit a big boot on Shida, and Mercedes did that fucked up finish, so once again, you can't tell who's giving the bump and who's taking the bump. 1, 2, 3, and that was the first 15 minutes of the show, and what millions of dollars, and Camille has to help her beat Shida. Who does Shida? That's the point. When Shawn Michaels was having matches with job guys, did Diesel powerbomb him first? If you use her when it matters, then it gets heat. But if it's just, they do everything because they think that's the way everything's supposed to be done. There's a run-in every match. There's interference in every match. There's a fight on the floor in every match. There's goddamn multiple people involved in angles every match where they're getting heat after the match, whether they've won or lost. It's the same over and over with everything. Did you hear that?
I heard that. What do you think, statement-wise, what kind of statement is this That after everything we heard about with the complaints from Britt Baker, or others maybe, the gardener behind me.
The gardener behind you is pissed off, I can tell.
In terms of the women starting off the show with this, giving it a long time to go, you know, the women's segments have not traditionally drawn people to watch the show. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he gave Mercedes a gimme because the highest rated quarter hour of their program, regardless of who's on it or what they're doing, is the first quarter, which they took up entirely, and then Britt Baker. Britt Baker over on Baker Street, Britt Baker's music played, and I'll get to I'll tell you about this afterbirth, and I'll get to the point of the thought. Camille sees a fan in a mask like Britt did before over the rail in the front row and pulls her over the rail and beats her up and kicks her. Well, Britt Baker comes in from behind and has a sloppy exchange and puts the lockjaw on Mercedes, and then Camille pulls her out. And then oh my gosh. And the fan that got beat up is never revealed. Never seen again, never mentioned again. Is the fan going to sue? Because they just beat up a fucking innocent person, apparently. And then that's not even referred to.
And we've seen that before, too.
So, this whole thing could have been done in the middle of the show in 7 to 8 minutes to get Mercedes a quick win, which for the good that's going to do because she's a shits. And then do the angle because you're building your match at the fucking big show. But instead they had between 15 and 20 minutes to just bore the shit out of people and run them off. So, and I'm telling you, that fan, later on in the program, we'll have a number they can call.
Yes, we will.
Yes. Well, this is my show, isn't it?
You usually go from one segment to the other, but we can go.
Yeah, boy, I'd like to go from one segment to the other.
Well, what was the next segment?